Welcome Lagos to sports news inside the locker room. The hashtag is lockerroom981. If you go on Twitter at smooth981fm and you follow us there, you'd leave a comment with the hashtag lockerroom981. Also on YouTube, if you search with smooth981fm as your tagline, you'll find us there. We encourage you to subscribe so every time we come on air and we are streaming, you can see us live there as well. WhatsApp number to send your messages to is 0809 4440981. Doing analysis this morning in Lagos. It's a special day. Today is the 2nd of November. Tega is back.
Okay,
Tega, this is...
yeah. You see,
holiday voice.
I don't know what was happening to you.
Holiday voice.
You know, you sounded very. I don't know. You were reading the news. I was like, "Is this locker room? How much change happened since I left? I'm back with a noise."
Welcome back, Tiger. Good to have you in the
Obviously
studio.
back with the
We've
noise.
also still got Biola with us. Be Orlicious. How you doing, hon?
I am fine. The cold is almost totally gone, so I am sure I am passing Valentine's fine test today. And I said
Fantastic.
fine.
Very well.
Very fine.
And your shirt is looking really fine too.
Thank you,
Lagos,
thank
go
you.
over to our YouTube live stream. It's youtube.com/smooth91fm Lagos, and you will be able to see our happy smiling faces. There's a lot of estrogen in the studio. It feels nice to have my sisters with me. It's
Yes,
just,
it does.
it's
Yeah.
great. It's excellent. It's, you know,
Sisterhood here.
yeah.
And one more thing to celebrate, the fact that Tega gave me a hug today. Fantastic times.
Yeah.
You sound like that you've been deprived.
Yes.
Vacation.
Lagos, Beerlicious is here. Lagos, let's get into this first story. So, Nigeria Super Falcons on Thursday lost 3-2 to Dominion Hotspur in their first preparatory match played at the Atlantic Hall pitch in Ekpe, Lagos. Now, a brace from Team Friday and another strike from Kolawole Bashir saw Dominion Hotspur hand the eighth-time African Women's Cup of Nations winners their first defeat ahead of the 11th Africa Women's Nations Cup in Ghana. Amarachi Okoronkwo shot the Falcons into an early lead in the 17th minute, but her strike was cancelled out with a brace from Etim Friday to send the Lagos-based team Dominion Hotspur into the break at a 2-1 with a 2-1 first half lead. At the start of the second half, though, Super Falcons head coach Thomas Danaby made 10 substitutions, 10, hoping for a comeback against Dominion Hotspur, but his team considered a third goal 10 minutes later. The time made no difference. Now, Kolawole Bashir struck in the 55th minute, exerting Dominion Hotspur dominance over the Super Falcons. With 15 minutes left to play, the Danish tactician introduced Rashidat Ajibade, Anam Imo, Chioma Wogu, Christy Adule for Nneka Julius, Chinaza Uchendu, Ngozi Okobi, and Ogona Chukwudi, and the team was rewarded with a goal. Mwogu reduced the tally with a close range finish 5 minutes from time.
Yeah, probably a game they didn't take seriously, but my first reaction was okay.
It's because they were playing in Lagos.
Playing
so I probably felt-
Dominion's
Yes.
Hotspur, an under 17 boys team is not the kind of friendly we definitely need going into the African Women's Cup of Nations. We are not going to be facing boys. We are not going to be facing under 17 boys. I remember Thomas Danaby talking about it before the game, saying, the boys are a little faster than us. And I thought, okay, really? But then, of course, we know these Super Falcons haven't been provided with friendlies just yet. And somehow they need to warm up for the African Women's Cup of Nations. It's on the 17th, by the way. And they don't have all of the most important players in camp just yet. I remember we talked about it on Wednesday or Monday, and we're talking about the coach giving the likes of Asisat Oshoala, Onome AB, and the foreign players a deadline of Sunday to get to camp. But now it has been extended a little because the likes of Oshoala, Onome AB, and Oparanozie will be in action for their clubs this weekend. So Oparanozie might be back or might get to camp on Monday. The ladies from China, that's Asisat Oshoala and Onome AB, on Tuesday, and we're running out of time, really. It's just days.
I was like, yeah, but they're losing on Saturday. Sorry.
Arsenal gonna Arsenal.
Liverpool will flog Liverpool. Then people like Tega is back. I'm like,
You pack your
No, that game
fire
is
and you
3-1.
keep it moving.
3-1.
Yeah.
And that's because they're the Emirates. If they're playing at Anfield, yay.
So
Liverpool is winning.
I switched that thing to on.
I was wondering what happened.
What happened?
You switched it to camera instead of phone. There was no sound.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I
I
turned
was
it
like,
back.
but this thing
Have you
was
turned it back?
working. Yes.
Because people were complaining that the volume was low, so that's why.
That's not the
Oh, okay. Thank you for
See, there
monitoring.
was nobody. You guys are your technology. Yeah, I had to come back when Arsenal was playing Liverpool.
To jinx it. Hopefully not.
I had to jinx it.
How
Have
could
it,
you?
Babalawo.
How could you? How could you? But they're looking good, to be honest.
If he wanted to, but did he want to? Yeah.
That's actually why I was taking Valentine's Ohu.
Okay, that's why I was wondering why you were doing that. No, it was for breakfast. It wasn't a gift for Waji. It was, yes, it's his birthday, but and it was also Devo's birthday. So I was like doing a combined thing. That's all. At times I was wondering why you were just creating so much. I was like, why? Oh, I don't like many things happening.
Too much activity.
Who is this?
I don't know who this person is.
What does person want?
So it's not by blowing for now. Presenters, please be aware. There's a
Only
show
him
going,
is tweeting by himself.
the ignorant sounds so ignorant.
2018, nobody has
that
time.
they look forward to someone who's
Time at all.
oh my gosh. Next one is discussing a recent statement by Russia. It's not by Fonda. Okay, alright, it's just by himself. I'm happy for him. It's cool, but alright.
To pay him, no reply.
Okay, I'm happy for him.
Sorry guys. DZUMHUR Zomho.
Zumo.
Zumo.
Yeah,
Thank you.
pronounce it Zumo, Tamil, Zumo.
I need to go and wash on him.
Yeah, that's me today.
For 5 weeks.
It's actually disgraceful what's happening under here. I took a close look at my scalp yesterday. I was like, Jesus.
I carried that oil sheen everywhere I was going to. So when I left on Wednesday morning. Took a stroll and then I got to the airport by 10 p.m. So I didn't take a bath till the next day. By the time I got to Lagos airport, my scalp was white. I was like, I'm ready in Lagos. Because it was bad. I had to be using the oil every single day. I'm here. This break is not. Folu, you lied to us. You're a politician. You said short.
My sister, it's still short. All joy. We've started combining the ads so that we can just roll through all the way to the end.
I'll never forget. So they're like, so the place we're going to is just a few blocks away. I was like how many blocks literally?
Yeah.
They said,
And the block is a long walk.
yeah, no. They said it was three or so blocks. I was like, okay, so 3 streets away. That's fine.
No, it's not 3 streets.
It wasn't 3 streets. No, it was 3 streets away.
But they're massive. Like the blocks are huge.
Oi!
That's why, because
Hey!
I had the same issue when it was like, oh, it's just 2 blocks away.
God.
And then you realize what a block is. A block is a big chunk of building land. Is a bit of a walk.
So I was like, okay, literally 3 streets away.
And you start walking.
It's not like Lagos Street.
It's not like Lagos
Bang,
Street.
bang, bang.
Yeah.
What they have
Aye. I saw a bar and I was wearing heels.
Okay, guys, we're
Okay, we're back.
yes. Mics are up. Studio's live. It is 8:30 and we're still talking sports inside of the locker room. Use the hashtag LockerRoom981 when you send messages to us on Twitter at Smooth91FM. Also use the WhatsApp number 0809-444-0981. In the studio we have Tega and Biola.
Tiger.
Good morning. And let's go to the next story. Novak Djokovic marked his return to world number one as he strolled into the quarterfinals of the Paris Masters after his opponent, Damir Zumor, retired injured. Now, the Serb, who will officially return to the summit of world tennis next Monday after Rafael Nadal's withdrawal from the tournament through injury, was outclassing Zumor when the Bosnian was forced to retire with an injury in the second set of their third round clash. Djokovic was leading 6-1, 2-1 when Zumor submitted to a back problem that had flared up in the first set. The win helped Djokovic extend his winning streak to 20 straight matches and equal the personal record of 29 consecutive completed sets won as he managed or maintained the remarkable spell of form that has seen him rise from number 22 in June to the top of the game again.
If I had been told, even at June, that Novak Djokovic would be world number one again this year or even next year, I wouldn't. I would definitely not have believed it. I mean, he started the season just returning from about 6 months due to injury. Started January, the Australian Open and all of those tournaments really, really badly. Had another elbow surgery in February. Still struggled all through March and then came back to win Wimbledon, came back to win the US Open, and he's been rising and rising and rising since June, like you mentioned. And of course, the injury issues with Rafael Nadal also has helped with this, but at the same time he's been very, very consistent since June, and it's really, really incredible to see. He has struggled for about 2 years since winning the French Open due to injuries, due to psychological issues like he mentioned as well. So it's good to see him back. Good to see that maybe not exactly the big four, but the first big three are back again in the world of tennis. The Nadals, the Roger Federers, Novak Djokovic again. For the past 2 years, those two, Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, have been passing the Grand Slams on almost every tournament to each other, but Novak Djokovic is back again. And of course, the tournament continues, and some of the most consistent players this year are in the quarterfinals. Jack Sock will be facing Dominic Thiem. Dominic Thiem recently qualified for the ATP finals. Alexander Zverev versus Karen Khachanov. Roger Federer, of course, taking on Kei Nishikori, and Djokovic facing Cilic. So the Paris Masters is hot as it is now.
That's
so
right.
we're getting ready for the ATP finals.
Thank you. Messages coming in. Sharif Oluwale Akimbi says, meanwhile, Tega, please, where is that Orijo Spalding ball I told you to buy for me? It was signed by Derrick Rose himself, because I'm happy for Derrick. I hope he continues in this form.
No, you said LeBron. I did not say LeBron. We're not in the same WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp group.
Status.
Can I borrow your phone, please, for a second?
He goes on to say the guy has gone through a lot, but cheers
Yes.
and welcome back again. I miss you, Tiny Small. Tiny Small, he said. While Zizi's asking, whether you brought out small bread.
Yeah, Gege bread.
I'm so confused.
All the way from there. No, it's chocolate they bring. No, it's not
Okay.
bread.
Collins A says, welcome back, but please, when exactly did you come back? Because I'm still investigating why Arsenal drew their last game. I'm not blaming you yet, though. I'm just investigating.
FBI stuff.
Just arrived, fresh off the plane. And we've got Olo.
Olojo Jeje from Yaba. He said, Tega gave you only a hug and you're announcing me that Tega gave a kiss 2 days ago in my dreams? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for mentioning that part.
I didn't even talk. You're humble.
Tega was already shocked, like, please, who did I kiss and when?
And Sam from East Solo says, Tega is back. Arsenal losing 3 points in advance to Liverpool. What a way to start your weekend. Well, let's talk about it, shall we? So, Liverpool will take a step into the unknown at the Emirates on Saturday, because they'll be facing a totally different Arsenal. So this time, it will be different. We will continue. Arsenal have good players, and against Leicester City the other week, it was evident what can happen when they are on a roll. But speaking in his post-match conference, Unai Emery said, red cards, like injuries, are like that. It's football. We have a lot of players. They are looking where to play to help us and take these responsibilities, but show his performance, his quality for the team. And I'm going to prepare with other players and thinking so that we have performance for a big match on Saturday. I think I translated it from his native language.
No, he's trying. His Spanish is getting better, and making everybody to speak English compulsorily is something else.
Yeah.
You know, with Arsene Wenger, everything just rolled. But what it is basically is, his favorite Matteo has picked up a red card. Yeah, he loves that boy. I don't know if it's the hair, but I shouldn't be analyzing this because Arsenal fans are just praying when they are.
We're watching you. It's okay, right? Support us.
But what it means is that Torreira is going to start.
Yes, he will.
That's what it looks like it means. Look, let me tell you this. I trust Arsenal when it comes to other teams, but against the rest of the top six, I question them. They've lost to Manchester. They've lost to Chelsea. I don't know what it is about those. Look, okay, it's the extra quality that those teams have that get Arsenal. So, and Arsenal's defense is still leaking. I mean, Unai Emery has solved a lot of problems, but that defense seems like a generational spirit. So, I don't think it's just going to change overnight. And that's where the problem is. They score goals, but they equally concede. And you're looking at that team and saying, Mo Salah may get a goal, and Sani is Mane is scoring, so he may get a goal, and maybe Firmino will get a goal. So you're looking at that front Liverpool line, and you're saying at least there'll be a goal or two coming in, especially with the way that Arsenal defense. And that's where the problem is. And they don't score all the time. They are largely a second half team, and if Liverpool take the first half very well and run away with the match, is game over. So this is not a good game for me to have come back. This game looked doomed before I came back, but now I'm back and it's
I believe in these boys.
Yeah, okay.
I however don't think it's going to be a walk in the park for Liverpool, especially playing against Arsenal at the Emirates. And we need to commend Arsenal really doing better this season so far.
Please increase her
They have
volume.
Oh, can you imagine? Arsenal supporter, like she said, not fan.
Slowly, Sha.
Yeah, so like Tega said, Mo Salah is back again. He has found his scoring boots at the right time. Mane has recovered from injury. The likes of Milner are back as well. They had a whole lot of injury issues, Liverpool, but they seem to have curbed that at the moment. And then with Guendouzi having a red card, being suspended, the whole controversy with Aaron Ramsey as well, that might affect Arsenal a little bit psychologically, but I do not think it's going to be a walk in the park. Maybe like very narrow win for Liverpool, of course. But it would be good to see that being a draw. It would be very, very good for Arsenal. Very good for Arsenal.
All right, so
So
let's.
Arsenal fans, come and Tega, not me.
Please, where are you going to be watching this match from?
I can't be telling you so that I'll be safe.
So Lionel Messi is back in training for Barcelona after missing the last two games because of a broken bone in his arm. So Messi suffered the injury on the 20th of October in their 4-2 win against Sevilla, which was expected to sideline the Argentina forward for several weeks. But the 31-year-old, who missed the Champions League win over Inter and Sunday's 5-1 El Clasico win over Real Madrid, joined his teammates in a photo that was tweeted by the club with the words, "Lionel Messi returns to training." That was the caption. Now, Coach Ernesto Valverde will check Messi's fitness before deciding whether to bring him back to Saturday's league game at the Rio Vallecano.
Yeah, I want to believe Barcelona can do without Messi this weekend. They're playing against Real Valladolid for that matter. No, they can't do without him. Yes, he must have returned earlier to training, but doesn't mean he can't start a game. We definitely do not want to see him falling and twisting that again. So Barcelona have been doing fine in their last two games, about 3 games without him, and they can also pull it off against Real Valladolid. So Messi returns to training, but not to the pitch just yet.
Cool.
All right, so we'll keep watching that. Up next, Leicester manager Claude Puel says that the result is not important when they play Cardiff on Saturday, their first match since the club owner died in a helicopter crash over the weekend. Puel says that it was Leicester's players' decision to go ahead with the Premier League match in Cardiff, saying playing football has not been on the front of our minds this week, but for this weekend and all the matches thereafter, we play to honour a man who did so much for our club. The result is not important, but our desire and our actions to give our best on the pitch to honour our chairman is the most important thing. And I am confident after I saw my players at training that they can give their best. Very, very beautiful thing that they're saying there. Do remember that the condolence book is still up on their website if you are interested in leaving a message up there.
It was a sad loss. I don't know how they can recover from that, but they have to at some point. I think the fact that their cup game was a bit delayed was good for them. And it's not just about paying respect, it's about the emotional state of that club.
Yes.
It's a tiny club, it's a club that the players felt very close to the owner.
More like
It
a
wasn't
family.
it wasn't a boardroom pitch relationship. It was, they were together, and so for that kind of thing to happen to that particular club, and the growth and the development and the plans that they all had, it's a deep knock. And I totally agree with Club. It doesn't matter whether they win or lose today. They're just trying to get tomorrow. Sorry, they're just trying to get back into normalizing their weekends again, playing games every other day. So the first and the most important thing is that they can get on the pitch, and they're emotionally strong enough to play, and then they can worry about results later. But that was a
Yeah,
sad
the
loss.
Leicester City players have been
Yeah.
seeing grief counselors, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
might
it's
help
important.
as well, because they definitely all need it. Like Tega said, that was a family, still is a family, even though the chairman is passed away now. But then the result truly does not matter. It's going to take some time to get back into their normal emotional state,
Yeah.
because a whole lot of changes will be happening at
And
the
that was a
club.
tough decision
So
to decide to
whatever
go ahead with the
happens,
game.
really
Yeah.
happens. Yeah. These players are human beings. The whole members of the club are human beings. So give them some slack. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk some bright news moving forward. Let's talk about Napoli. They will be looking ahead, looking to hit struggling Empoli hard in today's early Serie A match to keep touch with the leaders Juventus before next week's Champions League blockbuster against Paris Saint-Germain. We will fight to the end. The goal is very clear, said Ancelotti at Thursday's press conference. He continues to say there are several teams that aim to get closer to Juve. Inter had a positive run and they're closer like us, and that increases the competitiveness of the championship. AC Milan are getting closer now too. Well, the Napoli coach was playing his cards close to his chest as he ruled out resting players, including Lorenzo Insigne, ahead of Tuesday's game at home against PSG. What are your thoughts?
Yes, Juve. I mean, Roma, Napoli, and every other club in this Serie A will all fight to the end until Juventus actually win the league. It almost looks done and
No,
dusted.
they'll
Even
fight till
before-
February. Don't say to the end. February league is over.
Okay, exactly. Maybe even by December it might be over. It could be over, in my opinion. It says Juventus are still unbeaten. Napoli are 6 points behind them, and Juventus look like they might even go unbeaten almost all season. They are looking that strong as it is, and even though they have been winning the league from back to back to back, they have the strength of Cristiano Ronaldo now, so that is a really, really big factor as well. So yes, they should continue fighting to the end and all fight for Champions League spots and all of that.
Yeah, that's what
But
they're
Juventus,
fighting for.
even before 15 games, seem like they have taken this already.
All right, let's take quite a few of these messages. See if we can round up with these. Lekonki D says, yes, finally what I wanted. Tega and Biola on the locker room, please.
Yeah, he
They
mentioned
should
that.
just be a
some time
permanent
ago.
analyst. Their knowledge and insight in sports generally is just overwhelming. Tega, you must give Biola gift to. She will default
She
solidly.
can't not feel
Yeah. Please be on YouTube right now to see Tega's face. While Rido Remy says, welcome back, Tega the Tigress. Liverpool, a side that are stingy at the back. Now compared to last season versus Arsenal, back. Now basket. What of Man United?
Ouch.
Interesting. Okay, thank you. We keep it moving. Still more coming through. This one is in from Shegun from Ikorodu.
So hi Tega, please tell Arsenal that by the time the informed Salah meets Shaka at left back, he'll be dancing shaku shaku. Your return was well timed. I think it's Messi that is rushing himself, not Bassa.
Yeah, I think so too. I totally agree. He wants to play.
Sharif says, Chai, Tega has just broken my heart, finally. Oh, gosh. My thoughts on this Arsenal-Liverpool game? No thoughts. But one thing is clear, it will be a good game to
True.
watch.
True.
Game of the weekend.
Yes. Big T here says, tell everyone get Arsenal that Arsenal is back. Welcome Tega, I so missed you. Why are you people blaming my Tega when Arsenal fails? She's not the one that told them to name their team starting with the rear end of a donkey.
Yeah, no.
Come on, Big T.
It's okay. English is not everyone's first language. Your mother tongue is different. We believe in you. Still more coming in. She says, praise the Lord. Tega the
Hallelujah.
Tigers back.
Wiper.
But says, Tega, please don't try this again. How could you take such sabbatical? And we were just unaware. You clearly don't follow her on Twitter. That's your fault. Sort yourself out.
Just living our best life.
Yes. But IK from Navy Town says, you came back at the right time. I beg. Which Arsenal is special? Wow. Arsenal to lose 3 straight games starting from this weekend. It's not bad, Beleo. Messi is back to training. Please, can they replay the El Clasico? The scoreline for last weekend's game was decent, and Ramos did not fight on the pitch. With a sad face. You are sad they did not fight. See your life. And a
Yes.
final message in from Rainmaker.
Rainmaker says, condolences to the Leicester team. Gosh, I can't even imagine if my boss passes on all of a sudden. We wish them well. We can only imagine the trauma they're in right now. Anyways, Leicester boss should remember that winning single game is not important, but finishing in top form is important here. I hope the board will consider this when they evaluate the team and their management at the end of the season.
I'm very sure that they will do that. And finally, up on our live stream, Shegun Manuel says, welcome back, Tega. I knew that since Palace held Arsenal to a draw, you were coming back for their next EPL game. On that note, we're done. Thank you so much, Biola, for coming through. We appreciate you so much. Please find her up on Twitter. She's at Biorlicious. And you know where to find Tega. She is at Tega Supreme.
She needs to change that to Tega.
Really, right? Yeah, she'll fight you after the show. Lagos, do stick around. Final hour smooth breakfast. You get to talk.
For a Feel Good Friday.
Don't even try. Tega what?
Supreme.
Yeah.
Somebody asked on YouTube if both of you are twins.
I tell them yes.
Is answer, Abby?
Yes.
Twins is
That's
answer.
fine. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Every single jump, every trophy won, every wicket.
Is okay?